Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pink Shade. It's Wednesday. Oh my gosh, it feels so strange to say Wednesday. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
You guys, we're recording on video today, and this is on the free feed, which is unusual to put out a Wednesday episode, but we had to do it because the best show on television has come back. It's Welcome to Plathville. Love it, love it. This is normally over on Pink Shade Prime. You can get past Plathville episodes there as well. You just go into Patreon, Supercast, and search for it. And if you're on Apple subscriptions, I think Plathville only goes back a couple of years. Either way, if you need your Plath, you can find it.
You'll find it.
You'll find it. I'm very excited that we're putting this out today, Amy, because normally, I can't always put something out like the day after it airs, but this was a momentous occasion, and you and I have loved this show from the beginning, like our very own children.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, do we really want people to go back and hear our real bad takes on Ethan and Olivia's love and how much we rooted for them?
Yes, because people can change, their minds can
start
change.
Just start here.
Or just start last season, because we had a lot of anger last season.
We did. We did.
The thing is, this family, it has been such a journey, and I've told this story before when I went to that 10-year anniversary party of the 90 Day Fiance, and I was speaking to the TLC person that handles advertising. Okay. So that person's very interested in what's going well on TLC for advertising purposes. Imagine how happy she was when she got that Alec Baldwin show.
Yeah.
She's like, hell yeah, I'm getting a bonus. Yeah. But I spoke to her at a 90 Day Fiance party and said, in my opinion, the best show on TLC is Welcome to Plathville. Not this garbage.
Well, it's Sister Wives, but then Welcome to Plathville, yes.
Well, we can agree to disagree because I've never watched the full episode of Sister Wives yet. Somehow I know everything about it.
Yeah.
Somehow I know every single detail of these people's, except for all those children's names, because you can need a thesaurus for that.
It really is something that you have to be, like the 90 Day universe, you have to be immersed in the world to understand the nuances of the Brown family.
Yeah, all of that I understand. I will tell you, speaking of kids' names, a listener, and I really should have written it down at the time, a wonderful listener sent me a while back last year this chart that I'll show you here. Okay. It is everybody's names and birthdays as of September 29th, 2023. I've updated it to July of 2024. So we know everyone's exact age as of today. Okay. Because a lot of times it'll be like Ethan Plath, 25. And I'm like, I know he's 26. And then it'll say, Moriah, 21. I'm like, well, how did he become 26 and she remained 21? So math is hard. And I found a website that's called Age Calculator. So I calculated everyone's age.
Oh, okay. All right. I need that.
Age Calculator.
So there has been some scuttlebutt on socials about Plathville that I will drop in as it pertains to various members.
Okay. I know no scuttlebutt. I didn't even watch the screener, Amy.
It's not that exciting.
I waited and watched it live.
You did.
Stayed up till 11:30 taking my notes because I was like, I gotta get in. I gotta be one with the people. I don't want to know anything early. Now, from this point forward, I'll be watching it early. But yeah, so good. And then my husband came in the kitchen and was like doing ice.
And you're like, shut up, get away from me.
He was doing the ice maker and like opening envelopes, crinkle. I was like, every time he did it, I would passive aggressively hit pause. I'm like, are you done?
Do you not see what's on the television here?
I'm watching the best program ever made.
Cinematic masterpiece. That's like when I say the Titanic is the best movie ever committed to film. People, they have a real hard time with that take of mine. But it is.
I think it is one of the best movies ever committed to film.
It's the greatest movie ever made, period. Citizen Kane, look out.
Okay, well, listen, I haven't seen all the movies, so I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen every movie, but I have seen that film, and I thought it was really good. I've seen it more than once.
So good.
Yeah, really good. Yeah. And I believe it won many awards, to say as such.
I've seen it like 95 times. I went to the theater at least 3 or 4 times to see it.
Oh, okay. Well, no. I once in the theater and then 46 times at my house. Okay, let's talk about this episode. So we've got Welcome to Plathville, Season 6, Episode 1. You Kept the Plants Alive, which is a terrible title.
Yeah, we're not doing the Romeo and Juliet anymore, I guess. We're not doing Shakespeare.
We could have done Romeo and Juliet. We could have done Shakespeare. It really, it's It's a plethora of quotes we could have used.
You know what I thought they should have done, which would have been apropos, if you will?
What?
Sad country songs.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a really good idea, Amy.
I should be producing this.
How do we know that You Kept the Plants Alive is not a sad country song?
That's true. That's true.
Mean,
that'll be on Zach Bryan's next album. There we go.
Okay, his name is Zach Brown or Luke Bryan. That's two different people.
No, there's Zach Bryan.
There can't be a Zach Bryan, Luke Bryan, and a Zach Brown.
No, there. Okay. All right.
Is that
your
true?
audience is screaming right now? Yes.
Because I know of Zach Brown and I know of Luke
Something
Bryan.
in the Orange, the Great American Bar Rescue thing. I don't know. Let me see.
Because there's Zach Brown, who I love.
Now
there's
you have
Luke
me like
Bryan.
questioning my sanity. Yes, Zach Bryan. He's huge right now. Huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen,
and he is a phenomenal songwriter. Phenomenal.
So with these country singers, you just take 6 different words.
He does
all of them.
He's
them
more like rockabilly, like a Ryan Adams, Avett Brothers type situation. Jason Isbell.
Just throw them all in a blender and come up with a new name, and it's Luke Bryan Zach.
Luke Bryan Brown.
Luke Bryan Brown. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not versed in country music. Okay.
That's okay, because if you bring up anything pop related, I'm out. So this is
Sometimes
where
you know about Billie Eilish.
Only from you.
Okay, well.
She could be standing right next to me. I wouldn't know who she was.
You would know. You would know. Okay. You Kept the Plants Alive, terrible title. Let's go there. We opened with 5 years ago. They have Moriah narrating.
Bad choice, A. Number 1, bad choice.
Lydia probably could have been, probably understands reading better. And
Micah could have done this, I think.
Micah could have done it. Yeah. So Moriah is narrating, and it says basically, me and my siblings wanted to go out and see the world. We had soda. We had our first kiss. We had our first ATM experience, and we had our fair share of fights. And then the unthinkable happened. Ethan and Olivia's marriage was over, and my parents are getting divorced. Our family is still strong, but the future is as uncertain as it's ever been. Okay.
That was like Christina reading off the card in MILF Manor. That was equal literacy.
Same with Rebecca trying to play. Woo, guys, we're going to play a game. Get out of here, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ratstall. Okay.
So South Florida. Now, we're not saying we're in South Florida, but we're just saying South Florida.
No, we're not.
Are we going to say
I think it's Miami.
He says a lot of old people. That's why I think Palm Beach.
Oh, maybe. I'm not too familiar with Florida.
I only know about it from Real Housewives. And when they talk about old people, it's usually Palm Beach, or in the words of Luann DeSeps, it's West Palm Beach, darling.
Well, that's true, because when we see Miami depicted on Family Karma, it is hopping, as the kids say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep showing nightlife, surfing, all this. So it's definitely a big city. It's definitely not a Tampa.
I did a reading once for my book in Lauderdale by the Sea. It was when I went to...
That's near Miami.
It's when I went to Parkland, and it was north of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And that was an old place.
Yeah. It could be anything.
Which is my vibe. That's what I like. I want to
too.
be around the older people when I'm vacation. Yeah.
Me too.
Get your kids out of here. I don't want them.
I don't want any crazy teenagers around me, including my own.
Agreed.
Now, before we get into this girlfriend, I would like to tell the listeners here on the free feed who maybe didn't hear this story on Pink Shade Prime, was that I was following Micah's girlfriend, whose name I've totally forgotten now.
Veronica.
Thank you, Veronica. I'm going to go look that up in my DMs here in just a moment. Veronica, I was following her, and I was probably following her because somewhere along the line, Micah tagged her in a picture, and I thought, interesting, and so I followed her. I don't know when I followed her if her account was private or public, but she allowed me to follow her if it was private.
Yeah.
With the podcast, not like my personal thing. So then she posted a picture of her and Micah and said, who's ready for welcome to Plathville or something. And
Right.
she a picture of the two of them, tagged him, tagged TLC, I believe, and emoji of a film camera. I was like, okay, so this girl is filming. Great.
Yeah.
So I screenshot it, didn't tag her, anything, cut out some things, screenshot it and said, oh, wow, like Micah's got a girlfriend, can't wait, or something
Did you
like
put a
that.
fake mustache on her?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
And she wrote me back and said, please respect my privacy and remove my Instagram content. What Instagram?
Was it like a keep my name out of your mouth, Mary Payne?
It actually was. And I got no loyalty to Micah, so I don't really care. I'm going to see if I can find it right now.
This is just really dumb. Really dumb. If you think that we, Bunky Nation, are not going to find out who you are,
Mm-hmm.
don't go on the show because we're going to find out. I just said I thought she was Natalie because she was wearing Natalie type dresses. She had a Natalie type vibe about her. If you're not going to give me your information, I'm going to make it up.
Okay, it's Veronica Peters.
Mm-hmm.
And she, May 30th, this was the photo that I posted that now says, content has deleted because I deleted it.
Yeah.
And it says, now it's edited, so I don't know. It says edited above it. Okay. Hello, could you please respect my privacy and remove this? And then she wrote it again. Hello, could you please respect my privacy and remove this post? And I wrote, sure, no problem. And she said, thank you. I appreciate that. So, it wasn't like a battle, but it was terse.
Yeah, it's a weird.
You're on a television show and you just posted tagging a star of a television show with a camera emoji.
Yeah.
So choose, girl. Do you want it or you don't?
Yeah. Don't you think though, when we saw like her dresses and stuff, that she has a Natalie from 90 Day vibe?
Or a Lydia vibe, one of the two.
Something.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean,
We'll see.
I got comments about these men and the women that they choose being just like their mom. Okay. So Micah, I have Micah on my current list as 23 today. His birthday is March 10th, 2001. He's 22 as of this filming. He's 23 today. Micah tells us a lot has changed. 3 months ago, he moved from LA to South Florida, unspecific town, to be with a girl. He's a lucky man. He sees they have 2 dogs. They have an adventure fund jar on the counter. And yeah, it was a big shock to settle down. We see their bedroom with the word art above the bed that says, wake and pray for a blessed day.
Yeah, I think he's with somebody who's in that religion.
I don't know.
A trad wife, if you will.
Now, well, she's not a trad wife because she's working all day and he's sitting at home doing nothing.
That's true. She is working. I don't know.
We got to find out what her job is.
It's weird.
That's the next thing.
Yeah.
So we also see this girl's Chanel bags. Okay. We later see a Louis Vuitton bag that the Louis Vuitton bags, I know the exact price of almost to the dollar. The Chanel bags, in my calculations, if those 5 bags are real, it's about $50,000 worth of handbags. Those 5 bags.
Okay. Wow.
Because some of them are close to 10, some of them are closer to 5. But none of them are below $5,000-$6,000.
Okay.
So if those are her bags, I call it bullshit.
Okay.
I think that they're fake. Whatever. Allegedly, I don't know if her bags are fake. I'm just saying, if you have handbags like that, you are housewife level rich. That's something, Amy, that you would see in a housewife's closet, like behind glass.
Okay.
Like
all right. So they're probably knockoffs, I'm thinking.
I'm thinking that as well. Later on, she has a Louis Vuitton bag that I know is about $6,000.
Okay.
So listen, as me, I love a fancy handbag, but I am not a fan of a knockoff.
I actually thought we were covering an episode of Gypsy Rose and she got the shoes with the red bottoms.
Yeah, Christian Louboutin.
And I thought that was the same person who did the purses. I thought Louis Vuitton did everything.
So Louis Vuitton is a person and Christian Louboutin is a person. One is shoes, one is a person.
I mean, I shop at Old Navy. So
do I. I just got some stuff at Old Navy like yesterday. Old Navy is very good if you need a range of sizes.
Old Navy's great. Why not?
My daughter, I just found her the cutest clothes at Old Navy.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it to her last night. I said, I bet you need a new bathing suit for the beach. She's like, Old Navy.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, wow, we can really go off track. So they're taking things slow as far as being public. And he says, I don't know if she'll join me on camera. So we just see the back of her saying, like, don't make a mess. Don't leave yours. She seems like a real bitch.
That's what
I
I
mean,
was saying. Like, she has this Natalie vibe about her. That's like this Eastern European vibe, like a Yara situation. I don't know. I don't know who this girl is, but clearly we know she's Veronica Peters now,
she's Veronica Peters. And
which is a letdown from what where our imaginations could have taken us.
she's definitely like from Florida, and I definitely think she herself owns this house. Now, is she that young? Now, I did not see later on, we'll get into more word art that we see, but I don't see one that says boss babe, boss bitch, anything like that. We did see Messy Bun getting it done. So I don't know what her job is, but I would like to know.
And she loves a Hobby Lobby, clearly.
She is up in that Home Goods discount aisle.
Not Home Goods. This is a Hobby Lobby situation.
Okay. Well, I have seen some of these things. It's a lot of word art. Home Goods doesn't have the space.
Right. Right. They have too many dog beds. They can't fit all this word art.
Yeah, that's right. Too many candles. So he says, he's learning with this relationship that little things mean more than big ones. Picking up a meal or giving her a kiss goodbye, whatever. The little things mean more than big ones. We see his honey-do list. It's like paint the fence, dig a trench, make dinner, renovate the home, see at 6. He's the handyman, the gardener, and the housekeeper, apparently.
Yeah.
He's a stay-at-home dog dad.
It's so interesting to me because we learn that he is installing fences. That's his work, which is fine work.
Of course.
But it's interesting to me to chart the trajectory of these people's lives since Olivia has left them. So, like, he was going to be a model in LA. Now he's installing
Not was going to be. He was. He was.
Yeah,
in
now he's
catalog.
installing fences in South Florida. So let's continue through the rest of the cast and see where they're at.
Okay. Okay, he's a stay-at-home dog dad, I guess. So he takes his shirt off and says, I will only continue to do interviews with my shirt off.
Were you okay? I thought about you in this moment.
I got so mad at Micah a while back that I threw away my calendar of him.
You did?
I did. I'm looking to make sure that I didn't hide it from myself in case I had a moment where I needed to look at it. But no, it's gone.
Yeah, good for you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I just said I can't support it. Instead, I have John Hill nude photos on my wall. Okay. So my gosh, we're so off track.
I'm sorry, that's me.
I know. It's me. It's me. Okay. So he takes his shirt off and she's going to work. Where? Unclear. Is she going to work at Old Navy? Is she going to work at a Chanel store?
No clue.
Now, if she works at a Chanel store,
there you go.
That would explain, because there would be a Chanel store like in Palm Beach or whatever that's very fancy.
Yes.
Okay, so if she works for Chanel, she wouldn't have a Louis Vuitton bag. So, scratch. So maybe she works for Shein. So he says he has not asked his parents if they're supportive of them living together before marriage. Kim did it. Kim did it.
No, we're done with all of that.
Kim was still married when she moved to that guy.
Those quote unquote morals and stuff that Kim was clinging to that was only applicable when Kim wanted it to be. Now she doesn't care, so it's over.
100% correct. So the producer says, do you think there's wedding bells in your future? And he just smiles. Let's remember he's 23 years old.
Right.
But my God, he's 4 years late to what he should have gotten married at 19.
Yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by Greenlight. When you're a parent, you'll have your fair share of big talks with your kids, and one of those big talks should involve money, and Greenlight can help with that. Greenlight is a debit card and a money app made for families. You can send your kids instant money transfers, get real-time notifications of their spending, manage their chores, and automate allowance. You can set up recurring or one-time chores. In our house, the way we did it, we set them up weekly, so they would get paid on the next Sunday for what they had done that week. It was really great because you could see their progress, or if they were just totally slacking on a chore, then they could see that they didn't get their $5 that week or whatever it was. And your kids are building financial literacy and independence by learning to earn, save, and spend wisely. The Greenlight app also comes with an in-app financial literacy game called Level Up. You know, kids love a game on their phone that helps kids build money confidence through videos, bite-sized challenges, mini games, and more. Millions of parents and kids use Greenlight to learn how to make responsible financial choices. So stop putting off the money talk and start putting your kids on the right path. Sign up for Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/pinkshade. That's greenlight.com/pinkshade to try Greenlight for free. Greenlight.com/pinkshade. Okay, now we're in Victoria, Minnesota. Ethan and Olivia's apartment. Ethan is on his couch playing a guitar and singing.
Did you think of me when you saw this?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
I'm immune. I'm done. Like my name says here, former recovering Ethan apologist. I'm done. Even the guitar, Mary Payne didn't do it.
I'm proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
And my notation here has Ethan Benjamin buttoned himself backwards 10 years.
I know. The baby face is too much. I can't.
Get ye a beard ASAP.
Yes.
Because this ain't working.
No, and he's bulked up. It's not a good look. I mean,
bulked up with a shorter beard would be cute.
When he was skinny, scrawny, bearded up, wrenching on things, that's peak Ethan. I don't like this version of him.
I disagree. He's got to have a beard. He has to have a beard.
To have a beard.
I'm sorry, Ethan. I'm sorry. You have to have a beard.
Ethan, come closer. Listen to me. You literally look 20. You need to grow the hair out. Grow it out.
If 20, I mean, he could really, he'll get carded everywhere he goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
not a good look.
We see her ring on the counter in a box, and they keep zooming in on his finger. So I wonder if it's his wedding ring and he just moved it over a finger.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Because he doesn't seem the type to just wear a ring.
The song is bad too that he's playing, so that helps.
Listen, I have ear blindness when it comes to the Plathville family singers. Mm-hmm. Any Plathville family singing that's happening, I have ear blindness. I can't hear it. It's
good for you.
It's
so
all
you're
terrible.
Marked safe from Mariah's new single.
It's all terrible.
Okay.
It's all, so I just like turn my ears off and like someone is singing. Mm-hmm, we assume it's going to be terrible.
Okay.
So we see, her ring there. We see just his clothes in the closet. He hasn't seen her in a few months. She went to California and he guesses they're getting a divorce. He doesn't really know what's happening there. And he says, when we first split, I was sad and heartbroken. And then I just had anger. He says he works 2 jobs, goes to the gym, and goes to his grandparents on weekends and works on cars. He said he's got to move out at the end of the month, and Olivia's coming to get her stuff. And he says, I'm not sure how I feel about seeing her. And the producer says, do you miss her? And he says, I miss having someone to take care of and do things with. And the producer says, do you miss her? And he says, yeah, I do miss her. Now, did you notice in this scene, they have him just randomly standing up, talking to him, his pants are too tight. Did you notice that behind him was like smoke on the stove?
Ooh, no. Is he burning something?
I don't know if he's burning something or it was a candle or it was like soup was simmering, but there was smoke coming off the stove.
Okay.
And so he says, yes, I do miss her. Now we see Olivia driving. She says, I'm in town to get my stuff and get the divorce paper signed. It doesn't seem like they have any divorce papers, so I don't know what she's talking about.
Well, even now, like they screwed something up and they have to refile. Like it's not these crazy kids are not doing the bureaucratic process properly.
I think she was like LegalZoom.com easy divorce, and then she was like, I'm just going to go to the library and print it out or whatever.
Here's a pro tip for all Pink Shade listeners.
Okay.
If you're getting a divorce, hire an actual lawyer. LegalZoom can like form an LLC and stuff like that, but you really don't want to screw up a divorce. Just saying.
Right. Are you speaking from experience?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she says last time she was there in Minnesota, they were obviously in a very rough spot. And she said, when it was done, when he finally said he wanted the divorce, it was a sigh of relief. because I was never going to be brave enough to do it. And she says, listen, I know I also made mistakes, but I can say that I tried my best. My main question here is, why is she in business casual? Why is she heading
She
out to a business lady
she's
business
going
meeting?
to the PTA.
PTA is
And
good.
she's in charge of the PTA.
Yes.
And she's going to be taking your spring flowers order after the PTA meeting.
Yeah, I was like, because she's been on Instagram talking about hickeys and stuff, I was like, did she have a hickey? And that's why she had to put on that scarf. But listen, that was a cute go to church, go to a business casual business lady meeting. But it was interesting because I was like, did she wear that on the airplane? Like, I'm a business lady going to go to
It
a
was an
divorce
odd
meeting.
choice. There's a lot of odd choices here.
It was.
Yeah.
And generally, I can't find anything to complain about Olivia.
No, me either. I love Olivia.
I love her. So she knocks on the door while they're talking to Ethan, and he genuinely is like, what the fuck? Who's that?
I think they really let this play out as a surprise. Because you see the
100%.
cameraman like scrambling, trying to, get in position. And
I mean, whoever is her producer knew she was coming. Because they were
but I don't
filming her
think
in the
his
car.
producer knew that.
I don't think so either.
His producer start running.
It was great. It was great. So he's like, who's that? So it's her. So she opens the door and says, hi, how are you? And he just stares at her. And she looks around and goes, well, you kept the plants alive.
Okay, let me get your initial reaction to this, because you and I long believed in their love.
We did.
Devastated when they broke up.
Yep.
This had me in my feels a little bit. The two of them seeing each other.
And
they were teary-eyed. They were teary-eyed. I was a little teary-eyed. I don't know. I was like, God, I wish this could have worked between you two. But then it has come out on social media that he has, and Olivia has said this on her social media, that her ex-husband, and he's the only one she was married to, told her that if they had children of the LGBTQ plus IA community, that they would be disowned by him. And when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, I get it, Olivia. I get it. This could not have worked. Because that transcends politics. That's a different type of, that's a human rights issue.
I 100% agree. Your child is born and they are what they are. So disowning them is not going to change them into something they're not. We could talk about this all day. It's disheartening because I don't think every member of the Plath family feels that way. Obviously.
I don't either.
So,
I don't think Micah feels that way.
No, and I don't think. Definitely,
you're going to say Moriah. You're going to say Moriah.
She doesn't feel that way. I don't.
I hope not.
Yeah, she's not. God, that girl's got some trauma.
But when I hear stuff like that, my point is, I understand now why this has happened. And so while I was in my feels, my logical brain took over and was like, this had to happen. This had to happen.
He told her she could not be the mother of his children if she didn't agree with everything he said. So it had to happen, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So he says, I didn't know you were coming. And she goes, oh, I thought I'll let you know. And he goes, no. And she says, oh, I'm sorry I didn't. I am sorry. I've been busy traveling. And she says, life has been good. And then she says, are you doing okay? And he says, such a thing that my dad would say, staying on this side of the ground.
Timmy always says, I woke up this morning.
Yeah. My dad will say, you're not bone collector. He says a worm inspector.
These poor downtrodden men, they just have it so hard, don't they?
Worm inspector.
All they can do to just wake up in the morning, I guess.
And he says, staying on the side of the ground. And she goes, yeah. So we have paperwork to deal with. And awkward, quiet, stare, tears in eyes.
Yes.
Tears. She says, well, I don't know if this has changed for you, but when I left in the spring, we were in a good enough place so we don't need a lawyer to mediate between us. Do you still feel that way? And he just doesn't speak. He nods. And she says, is there anything you want to talk about? And he shakes his head. And she goes, anything you want to get off your chest? He shakes his head. Any closure that you need? And he's just dead silent, not answering. And then he says, there is no closure. And she says, are you still angry at me? And he says, very much so. And
Poor
she
Ethan.
says, why? And he says, I don't know where to start. And then he says, why did you tell me that not having a relationship with my siblings for a year and a half was not a sacrifice or a compromise? So these are like, this is just something that has been in his head for months. It's like, if I ever get a chance to see her, I'm going to ask this.
Well, and I want to clarify. I say poor Ethan because he doesn't know what he doesn't know. And he's so full of resentment and rage, and he's working it out at the gym because his parents have actively taught him that therapy is probably like something that weirdos go to, but that's where he should be working this out to dispense some of this anger. And
I know.
he just can't get out of his own way.
I know. So why did you tell me that not having a relationship with my siblings for a year and a half was not a sacrifice or a compromise? So probably they had an argument at some point, and he said, I didn't have a relationship with my family for a year and a half. And she's like, that's not a sacrifice or a compromise.
Yeah.
A sacrifice or a compromise is agreeing to have children and loving them no matter what.
Right.
And she says, she goes, you know what? It's not that I couldn't see it was a sacrifice. I could see it was a sacrifice. I just felt it was held over my head. And to me, it was the bare minimum for protecting your partner.
Yeah.
And he says, well, I don't understand why that was your direction that you took for what should have been done instead of trying to fix it. And she goes, yeah, that was probably a way that I'm not a good fit for you. It took far too long for me to realize that between me and your family, you would choose your family. And he says, that's because you made me choose.
No. Kim made him choose.
That's right.
Olivia did not start this.
Nope. So she says, okay, well, we should have walked away a lot sooner. And she said, I should have walked away a lot sooner. I knew it wasn't right for a long time. And I could have saved you a lot of heartache if I would have acknowledged it sooner. And he says, it wouldn't save the heartache. It would not have saved the heartache. And then so she says, now, your take on this is what? She says, so you're happy now with your family?
I mean, it was a dig. It was a dig. I can remember when I got divorced and my ex-husband was with the woman he left me for and his new wife. I would say things like that. Yeah. Like, oh, are you and your new girlfriend happy now? Like, you know what I mean? It was a dig. It was a dig.
So, I think
and that's fine. She's allowed to take some digs.
But her whole thing is like, okay, so you had to choose. You chose them. So are you happy now?
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Right.
Apparently you're not happy now, right? And he semi kind of bangs his hands on the bar stool and rolls his eyes and glares at her. It was a little scary.
He has anger issues, man. He's got to work this out.
And she says, okay, I'm going to take my briefcase and head back to the office. She picks up her purse and says, I'm going to take a break and I'll come back later. And as she's walking out, he goes, with paperwork? And she says, not right now, but we need to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't do that. Take your camera off. Turn your camera off.
I had to itch my nose, though. It was weird.
Just turn it to the side. It scares me when you turn the camera.
You want me to go?
No, I don't like it. Stop. It's weird. No. Stop it. All right. Now we get some silly clown music. It's like
yeah. And you're like, Big Ed, is that you? Like that's what they always give on?
Why are we in a silly place? We're in St. Mark's, Florida. Is it close to South Florida? We're unclear.
I know exactly where it is.
Oh, you do?
Yes. It's on the Gulf side of Florida, and it's about 30 minutes south of Tallahassee.
Okay. Gulf side of Florida is where I grew up going to Destin. So
yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kim is fucking barefoot in a public bathroom.
Okay. This is what I need to talk about this. I'm enraged. We'll get to that later. But somebody has put out there, and I think it's a really good theory.
Okay.
That she lives with Ken and the houseboat is just for the show.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, she said she lived with Kim last year, so I don't know why all of a sudden.
Because she tells us, "Oh, Ken asked me to move in with him, but I didn't think that was a good idea."
Even though she was already living with him.
Yeah, and I thought she broke up with Ken because he is off social media.
Good.
Yes. Marked safe from Ken's tweets.
God. So she's barefoot in a public bathroom. She's Britney Spears adjacent. And she says, I'm living in Florida right now. I'm not divorced yet. Financially, things are tight. I'm emotionally exhausted. And, meanwhile, Barry and I are co-parenting and things are fine. Ken asked me to move in, and I thought about it, but I decided it's more important for me to have a home, not dependent on anyone else. So I just need to focus on myself and the girls. Again, you have 9 children, not just these 3. Yes, 9. Focus on the girls. So I bought a houseboat.
Number 1, not a houseboat. Number 2, this enrages me. You are not going to put 3 girls who are all close to going through puberty, becoming young women, who need their privacy in some way, in a fucking houseboat just because you want it. Like, this
with no working bathroom.
Right. Like, she wanted that primitive lifestyle that they grew up in. So everybody had to do that. Now Kim wants this. So now everybody has to do that. She is the most selfish mother I think I've ever seen. I'm done.
These girls are 15, 13, and 11 currently.
Yes.
So no mention of Isaac, by the way.
No, nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit about
You're
Isaac.
going to tell me, I looked up rentals in Tallahassee because there's really no rentals around St. Mark's. So I looked up apartments in Tallahassee.
Okay.
Just what I suspected. Real estate is pretty cheap in Florida. Yeah. She could get a 3-bedroom apartment for like $1,300 to $1,400 a month. You mean to tell me Barry would not house his children and help her with that?
We don't know about Barry.
I think he would. I think he would have to.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, he'd probably have to.
So she says, I grew up on a sailboat. So I bought a 33-foot Chris Craft boat. It's got just enough living space to be manageable for one person, I might add.
For one person.
And we see a Captain Kim hat next to a 46-liter bottle of wine. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
The Captain Kim hat is propped up to next to a huge wine bottle. Not great for somebody who got a DUI that we don't talk about on television.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So she says, we use the beds as couches during the day, and the bed at the bow of the boat is where 1 or 2 people can sleep. And then we see some This Is Us and Together word art. The bathroom is small and gives us a little indoor plumbing, but mostly we use it to store our makeup. So we use the showers at the marina. They're really nice.
They're not living here full time. This tells me that Barry has custody of the children. And she sees them every other weekend or maybe on weekends. And she lives with Ken full time when she's not seeing them and filming. Because she can't let everybody that she, lorded over her righteous morality. She can't let everybody know she's living with somebody that she's not married to because she's married to somebody else.
But she did tell us before last season that she lived in the spare bedroom, to which we say LOL.
Well, that he wanted her to live in the spare bedroom.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
So Amber, who's 14 currently, but 15 now, Amber says, yeah, I was skeptical about this. And Cassia says, yeah, I was surprised. It's different. Amber goes, it's tight on the inside, but we aren't inside a whole lot, so it's fine. So Kim says, yeah, the girls are, going through their teenage years, so that's enough changes as is. So I worked hard to make this space as livable as possible. They may as well live in a camper van down by the river.
Look, I am all about like parents who want to expose their kids to different types of lifestyles. Like we just talked about this with Emily and Kobe. Like, go ahead, move to another country, do that kind of stuff. But these children have been through hell. I mean, what they have been through, they're currently going through, they need stability. They don't need to be living in cramped quarters at a houseboat because you can't take them to your boyfriend's house every other weekend. I
wonder if Barry sold that dance studio that never was / apartment above, sold that building and was like, I don't know where you're going to live, but go ahead and tell me if you find something. But he's like, you can't live there because I'm selling that building because I bought it for you for this dance studio that never got off the ground.
Well, and Barry's probably enraged that she moved in with Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
And oh my God, what world am I living in that I have to defend fucking Barry Plath?
I know, that's where we are. That's where we are.
God.
So they're talking about how tight it is to cook and be in the kitchen. And they've got, poor Amber out there on the grill in the public space grilling where other people have put their God knows what.
Trust Amber more than anybody else at this point.
I mean, really, Amber is the star. Amber says she and her mom have gotten closer. She's realized her mom really is just a fly by the seat of the pants, live in the moment kind of gal.
Oh, she's so fun and spontaneous, even though she wouldn't let us have like pasteurized milk growing up.
And she says, nobody's perfect. We all go through things. And then she knows when they're arranging around the bed situation that she says to Amber, can you move your purse and your phone? Oh, now everybody's got a phone. It's fine. Everybody's got a phone.
Yeah.
Mercy says, yeah, I love to be on the boat and being on the water. It's like an adventure. These poor kids.
I know. So Barry is the one stable parent here.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy town.
So Kim says, now that we're a couple of years into the divorce proceedings, the kids are seeing things different and it's good. And they know they still have two great parents. And my life is very simple now. And I'm just trying to figure things out. I don't miss the big house. It was a big house. It was a huge house.
Oh, she would be in that big house in a heartbeat if he gave it to her.
I'd rather be on a small boat with my girls than a big house with fill in the blank. You're living in separate bedrooms. She means I don't want to be in a big house with him.
But why are we saying fill in the blank? We know who you're talking about.
Let's go to Cairo. Let's go to Cairo, Georgia. Now, well, Barry's running. Hi, Barry, running. Look at me. Hi. He says, the last several months have been challenging through the divorce. And, I like to get in touch with the great outdoors. And I have a running partner, which, of course, is going to be Moriah.
And they show her ass. This was a real weird decision on production. Like, they're like, Barry has a partner. And they zoom up and, they show her from behind, like a sexy shot. Like, that's his daughter. Calm down.
Moriah looks healthy.
She does look healthy. I agree.
And I'm very, very grateful for that.
She looks a little better. Yep.
Yeah. She hasn't added any new tattoos, which I find interesting, living with a kid who likes to get a new tattoo every week. It's very addictive. So it's interesting to me that she hasn't filled up that sleeve yet. So something happened. It clicked either where she ran out of money or realized, I didn't want to. Oh, shit. Sorry, balloons. She realized she didn't want to do that after all. Because when I did my interview with Olivia, she made such a good point, which is she understands all of this, getting the tattoos, dyeing your hair, getting extreme makeup, all these things. Yeah. She understands it because when you're grow up with this
suppressed
religious abuse, it's very, very easy to change the outside.
Yep.
And that way you don't have to work on the inside.
Yes.
So it's very interesting to say, yeah, I understand why she does all that. And because she's like, I did it too. I could get a nose ring. I could do this. I could change my hair to red because I can change. I'm changing. Look at me. I'm changing.
Yep.
I'm changing, but you're not changing. You're just changing what you look like. You're not changing up here.
So Moriah is another one. Let's track her trajectory. Is she, and I don't know, I'm not necessarily answering this, but is she better off without Olivia in her life? I feel like she might not be.
I mean,
she's living back home. She's not she is doing her music. That could be a plus or a minus.
I mean, depending on whose ears you're talking about. So anyway, Moriah looks healthy. She has a full face of makeup while jogging. So obviously it's just for the scene. And she says, wow, it's been a week. I've been home about a week. She's only been home about a week. So, which is interesting because later she tells us about this other thing, but she says, I've only been home about a week. I love Tampa, but I want to save money and I don't need to rush into the next phase of my life. Now, remember, she had that hot girl, a very modern apartment with that giant dog.
Yeah.
And was bartending, even though she was 19.
Yeah.
They passed by the house where she lived with Micah when she was 17.
Yep.
And
when Kim threw her out of the house.
And she says, I'm closing out a chapter that I never closed out before. Now, she's got revisionist history here where she says, I was an insolent teenager. There were rules. I didn't want to follow the rules.
No, you weren't, girl.
And, my parents told me if I couldn't follow the rules. So I just said, fine. And I left. I mean, depending on what lens you look for, that is what happened. But you were a minor and your parents told you to get the fuck out if you were going to stay out past 9 o'clock.
And the rules
and go
were
bowling.
and the rules were ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. How she even called to meet up with people when she didn't have any social
This
media or
is what
phone?
I'm
I don't
saying.
know.
Like, if you're like, let's say I think it affected Moriah the most, but let's say you're like
Yeah.
Amber, and you've been raised to be so suppressed and couldn't have any kind of social, and then your mom starts doing all the stuff that she told you never to do.
Yeah.
It would blow your mind
Yeah.
because
And then you've got the
the
one sister
damage
that
is done to these kids already.
yes. Yes. I mean, let's see. Mercy. We have Mercy for Mercy. She'll be the only one that'll
Oh,
come
I'm
out of
looking
this
at my
okay.
sister wives chart. That doesn't help. That doesn't help.
No, sister wife chart doesn't help.
Yeah,
I mean, I can
no.
send you this chart.
I have so many goddamn charts in here.
Okay.
Okay.
So Barry gave her the master bedroom with the biggest closet. Now, so I guess what happened is when they separated, we know that Kim moved into the bedroom where the girls were.
Mm-hmm.
And Barry slept in the master bedroom. So I guess after Kim moved out, Barry moved out of the master bedroom because he says no, it was nobody was staying in there.
Yeah.
Um,
It's I don't know. It's the master bang bedroom though. Maybe he just didn't want to be in there because they had banged in there a couple times.
yeah, maybe,
I don't
maybe
know.
twice. He says half the time the girls are here with me, and half the time it's just Moriah and Isaac with me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Isaac, we forgot about him. Okay. And
Yeah.
Mariah's only been there less than a week. So this is not
And
okay.
Lydia's off fucking around Europe. I don't know what she's
We
doing.
don't know what she's doing. We saw her next to the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
What was the date?
Mm-hmm.
Isaac is busy flying and working. Again, he's just turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
Flying and working. And Lydia has been traveling all year. Doing what? Unclear. She also is like a bank teller and a part-time housekeeper as well. So
yeah.
And she says, it's just been me and Blackjack, which again is more dog than she can handle and perhaps not well trained.
No, Blackjack is a menace. He is.
I mean, remember, like she sent him off to like a training camp.
Oh yeah. Blackjack's gonna kill somebody. Just stay tuned.
It could be her. So I was glad to see that Barry was able to pick Blackjack up. I was like, okay, so Blackjack didn't bite Barry right in the face.
Because he's also on the rage workout regimen.
Yes. I'm glad he just didn't talk about his muscles and blood flowing to things. We didn't. Yeah.
Ooh, did not need that.
So Barry and Moriah sit in the backyard, and Barry says, Tampa, that's a big city with big city costs. And that's why I like to live here in a small town living. Yeah. And now, in her confessional, she is in a yellow suit jacket with slicked back hair as if she also is going to a business meeting.
Or a Eurythmics video.
Yes. She's got
unclear
formal, like sparkle earrings hanging down with the yellow suit.
And she's got her Annie Lennox look on her.
Behind her on an ottoman is a red purse and red shoes. Is she slapping those on to go to her business meeting? Like, what's happening?
No idea what's happening with any of this fashion.
TLC, you can do better. You guys know I'm always telling you about Tropical Smoothie Cafe. I love it. There's one right down the street. We go constantly. They've got these new summer mocktails, and I really, really love those. I love the mango berry Cosmo. I add some coconut to that. Oh, it's so good. But I want to tell you about some other stuff they have. They have a turkey bacon ranch sandwich that is delicious. For a kid's meal, they have like a turkey cheddar wrap. You can get some baked lays and a little cookie. My favorite on the kids menu is the little limeberry. That's if you just want a little smoothie. You don't want the whole thing. You guys, they have the acai bowls. They also have delicious breakfast. They have a Southwest wrap. They have an all-American breakfast wrap. And, for smoothies, they have those green smoothies. So if you're into that, they have that. My son's favorite smoothie is the kiwi quencher. You guys, I'm doing this off the top of my head because we order there so much. Like I said, the little limeberry I like, but I do love these new mocktails. The mocktails are only for a limited time. They have a mojito. And like I said, they have the berry Cosmo. That's my favorite. And again, Don't sleep on the breakfast. Get it? Don't sleep on the breakfast. Really, the breakfast wraps are delish as well. So you guys go to Tropical Smoothie. Try out all these things. You don't just have to try the mocktails. You don't just have to try the bowls or the wraps. Try everything. Go 3-4 times a week. Find out what you like. See what your main order always is. We're again going with that berry Cosmo mocktail because it's a limited time. Again, the little lime berry, the kiwi quencher, the acai bowls, the breakfast. You guys, all of it. Tropical Smoothie. You're on Tropic time now. So she says, there's another reason I left Tampa. Now she's talking about this as if she's been in Barry's home for 3 months. She just told us it's been less than a week.
Yes.
So she says, there's another reason I left Tampa. I went through hell recently, and there's a lot I'm trying to sort through in my head. She says last year she had a relationship. She kept it private.
So this is not Max, correct?
No, Max is married and just had a baby with the girl that he married that already had a 2-year-old.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So this is some guy that she managed, unlike Micah, to actually keep private.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Somebody deep dive it on Reddit and tell us.
I mean, again, do they think we're not going to find this?
Veronica Peters. Okay. So she says, last year she had a relationship that she kept private. And one day she found out there were things that he kept from her, and things started to unravel. And she wonders about the man she thought she knew. She doesn't want to share what happened or the sad story of what happened. But what she learned is you have to push forward. Don't fall into the poor me mentality. It's learn and do better. Don't go to therapy. Don't sort it out. Don't figure out why. Don't reflect on it. Nope. Don't figure out why you picked this man. Don't figure out why he was able to snow you. Don't sort through your feelings of being abandoned. Keep going forward. Don't look.
Semper Verde, as Polly Walnut says on MILF Manor. Semper Verde.
Don't look inward. Keep going. Move home.
Keep going.
To the person that oppressed you. Keep going.
Move back home to your captor.
Yeah, right. That's what she learned.
I would say now that you say it that way, I would say her life is not better with Olivia out of it. So that's 2 for 2.
Okay. So Barry says, yep, I think that this is where you need to be right now. And he says, you're going to get some healing and get your feet back under you. And he says, doors open, lights on, stay as long as you want, which I thought very nice.
Yes. Again, he's doing the right thing.
Very, again, as these shows teach us, we can turn against you and we can turn back for you. I'm not saying I'm for Barry. I'm just saying in this situation, he's doing the right thing. Was Moriah welcomed onto the houseboat? I don't think so.
Barry has played this beautifully.
Correct.
Kim has to be, as I said, raging and smashing all of her precious moments statuettes every time she watches this. Because he could have been the world's worst father before this divorce. But man, has he really socked it to her in the end. And that is my official Gen X saying, socked it to you.
Here's a question for you. If they still lived on the murder farm, okay, if they all still lived on the murder farm, cows, trucks, rolling tires, the whole good, clean, fun bingo night on Wednesdays, bunk beds in the hallway, if they still lived on the murder farm and all these kids tried to come back home, could they have come back home?
No, I don't think Kim would have let them.
Isaac is 18. He's flying and working.
I think they're of the mentality of don't let the door hit you on the way out.
So Moriah at age 21 lived in Tampa. And even if she was doing the right thing, going to church and leading prayer groups, she had a bad breakup with a boyfriend and she wanted to come back home. Would she be allowed? Or would they say, no, you're past 18 now. This is what we raised you for. You're 18. Get out of here.
I always remember what Ethan said, and it's kind of that my big fat Greek wedding. I am the neck, he's the head. Kim is the neck. She turns the head. And Kim would not have let them come home.
Right.
Because the fact that they were wrong. Because they were wrong.
The fact that when she talks about her children, she only refers to herself and the 3 little girls and not the 6 other children. She doesn't mention them at all.
Yep.
She just says me and the girls, as if she only has those 3 children. When she was getting divorced, it was all about the girls, the girls, the girls. I was like, you have other children. Just because they're over 18 or about to be 18 doesn't mean they don't need their parents.
Right. And it's easier for them to hate the interloper, Olivia,
right,
than to put their, because it's a hard decision to think that your mother did you wrong. Like, that's hard to face.
And
They
let's
can't face
also
it.
talk about Micah and this girlfriend and him like, I don't know if my parents agree with me moving in with a girl or not.
Yeah.
Okay. So Micah's had a lot of judgment about Olivia.
Yes.
And what she did to Ethan.
Yes.
So now are we all going to be okay to judge Veronica? Is that going to be okay with Micah?
Oh, I'm going to judge the fuck out of her.
Oh, I'm already doing it.
Yeah.
I'm already doing it.
Okay. So,
Veronica, we don't know you. I'm sure you're fine.
Yeah, you're probably fine human, but whatever.
And also, Veronica, if you work for Chanel, hit me up. Okay. So, back to South Florida, Palm Beach, ? Is what I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
West Palm Beach, unclear. They did show that bridge. And so there is a bridge that goes between Palm Beach, which is super fancy, and West Palm Beach.
Okay.
And so like on Real Housewives of New York, Countess Luann got arrested in West Palm Beach. And that was the whole thing. She wasn't even in Palm Beach, darling. It was West Palm. Yeah.
Okay. It's not like the Chappaquiddick Bridge, right? Where...
No. People don't just go off it and never see it again.
Just asking.
It's just a bridge that goes between Palm Beach, which is very hoity-toity rich, and West Palm Beach, which is adjacent.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
So back to South Florida, back to Micah. He says, my lifestyle is very different now. Everything is centered around my girlfriend. And, I miss my friends in LA. So I asked my good friend, my California buddy, Will, to come and see me and see my new life. And TLC said they'd pay for it. So here he comes.
It just occurred to me. I think I read that she is a realtor.
Veronica Peters is a realtor?
Yes. I'm going to look it up real quick, but I think that's what just came out about her.
Okay. Okay. Well, good for her. Maybe that's how she got that cute house. So, okay. So his friend Will lands, and first thing I noticed is Will had a gold grill, and I was like, this is going to be a hard no for me, and I'm going to have to turn my television off. But it was a pop-out grill. What a jokester.
She's a real estate agent.
Who also works for Chanel on the side. So he says, but how old is she? Because he's only 21.
She's a Boca Raton native with a college background in business and architecture, a passion for real estate, and lifelong exposure to residential construction as the daughter of a contractor.
That bingo.
Mm-hmm.
Either she got those purses from her mother. More than likely, they're just not real. But definitely it screams, Daddy built me this house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Boca.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Boca is even more bougie than Palm Beach.
And there's a picture of her, and she's cute.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the picture. She's cute.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks just like his sisters. I mean, let's be honest. So,
okay.
So, anyway, Will has a gold grill. He's crazy joking like that. Mm-hmm. And he says, Boca is where you go to retire.
Okay. All right. So that's where they are.
Boca. Why didn't it come to me, Boca? Mm. All right.
Is that where Mar-a-Lago is or no?
It's pretty close.
Okay.
Pretty close. Look that up, but I believe it's, yeah.
I'm not looking that up.
Don't look that up in my algorithm. No.
No politics. No.
So, they're looking around and they see some people like walking to and from the beach. And he says, yeah, the crowd's a little older here. Yeah, I've just been working building fences. Let me tell you what, you are giving those retirees something to look at when you're building those fences.
Yes. Yes.
Would you like some lemonade, little boy?
Yep. They're out on the lanai.
Yeah.
Checking that out.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine what Blanche Devereaux would have done with him?
Oh, my Lord. Come on in. Let me make you some cheesecake. So Will says, so you're still doing modeling? And he goes, yeah, I'm not doing that temporarily. I don't want to travel so much because of my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So in his talking head, Will says, the Micah I knew in LA was like fun. We didn't do a lot of work. We see some like clips of them like playing video games and stuff. And he says, I am surprised he got so serious so quickly. But yeah, I think Micah actually thrives in a family environment, a monogamous relationship. And the producer says, why are you hesitating with this? And he says, I guess just one interaction I saw, like I've spoken to the girlfriend on the phone. I mean, she seems nice and she's pretty. And, maybe I saw them when they were having a tiff, an off day. They were going at it a little bit, but I haven't gotten to know her yet. So just maybe it was just a one-off moment, but that's not the tone of the relationship. Okay. Well, I think if you see somebody have one little tiff in 1 year, you would not mention it. So I
I
don't
would
think it's one
not
little tiff.
I would not be surprised if Micah found himself in a relationship with a woman who was quote unquote controlling or domineering or had those overtones, because we repeat what is comfortable to us, and that's what he grew up with.
Same as Ethan married a strong woman.
Mm-hmm.
Same as Micah has now found a strong woman. And let's see what Isaac does.
Right. But
You
I
know?
think that Micah is going to, like, she's going to be portrayed as controlling and domineering. So let's see how this goes.
Yeah. And by the way, it for you and I looking at it, just from this show standpoint, if we looked at it from just a female standpoint, we may be like, okay, good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have him doing that honeydew list. Yes.
Good.
With no shirt on. Good for you.
Yes, because guess what else? If he's only building fences like one day a week, yeah, he should be doing shit around the house. All of a sudden, I'm back on Veronica Peters' side. What is this show?
Flop, flip, snip, snap, snap, snip.
God. So Micah gives Will a tour of the house. The house looks very nice. It also looks like no one lives there. It's very neat, very clean, everything in its place.
It's staged, maybe?
No, because when
Like
they're
it's a
showing
realtor?
no, because when they're showing things, it is like the molding isn't totally painted correctly.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean? It's like chipped paint, and the kitchen definitely, that is their trash.
Gotcha.
And then they did have on the wall in the kitchen, did you notice they had a monitor? Oh my God, so sorry. They had a monitor on the kitchen wall. Amy, this video, sorry. Every time I do something with my hands, the video is doing balloons and confetti and hearts. Okay. They had a monitor on the kitchen wall trying to make a square. There was cameras all around the house.
Whoa.
With like the square, the grid of like the front, the back, the side. Yeah. You know,
like
you know what I'm saying?
like a sliver situation. Like a
like
Robert De Niro casino situation.
Yeah, it's just the cameras. It's a monitor on the wall with all the cameras, the views all around the house of that tiny little house.
Yeah,
so either they live in a bad neighborhood, or a daddy says my daughter's not going to live here, you know, unless, I don't know. Interesting.
Okay.
Maybe she
dad, or it's piped into dad's house and he's watching them.
Could be.
Ooh.
It could just be because she lived there alone for so long, and she was like, I want to have a security system. I'm a single girl living here, you know?
Sure.
But the house looks very neat and clean. There's a sign on the wall. There's several signs. I'll read them to you. One says, as long as everything is exactly the way I want it, I can be totally flexible. Okay. The next one says, faith. It does not make things easy. It makes things possible. Luke 1:37. Then we see messy bun getting stuff done. And take me to the water. Okay. So I'm
getting a lot of mixed messages there.
She enjoys a sign. She really enjoys a sign.
Fun. She enjoys the ocean. She wants shit done her way. I'm getting it. Okay.
She likes to go to church.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't see the one that said boss babe, but we know it's there.
Yeah, that sign about faith, that wasn't written by Luke Bryan. That was Luke from the Bible.
Luke from the Bible.
Okay.
Okay. So Micah says, you know, I never had a super serious relationship before, and I don't know what makes her different, but yeah, I love her. And he says his girlfriend is a hard worker and strong-willed, and you'll never find the perfect person that you won't have conflict with. And you don't find a soulmate, you create one.
Okay.
You find somebody you're compatible with, and then you work through your ups and downs. You're not 75 and have to settle for someone to spend your golden years with.
I have a theory. It's just emerging in my brain right now.
Okay.
From learning she's a realtor and her dad is a construction person, I think she's got a shitload of money. And that's why he's with her.
She does have a shitload
Micah
of money.
has found himself a sugar mama. Maybe his life did get better.
I mean, so he just says you got to find somebody you're compatible with and then work it out. I don't necessarily.
I mean, I'm not a believer in like you have one soulmate on earth and you have to find that person like your twin flame. But I also don't believe you have to like work to make somebody your soulmate. I think, you know, you find somebody, you fall in love with them, it's over.
You don't find a soulmate, you create them.
No.
You find somebody compatible and then you just figure it out.
You just work on it.
So he tells, Will, since living with this girl, I didn't know how not clean I was, I don't know. And he goes, hey, I gotta do some chores. You want to help me dig a trench? And we see some stuff in the backyard, but the grill is smoking. So they're cooking. All right. A lot of smoke work in the background of the show. Okay. Back to Victoria, Minnesota. Olivia comes back in a more appropriate outfit. She's ready to be casual and take her shoes off and sit on the couch.
Yes.
She comes back over and she gives him a couple of sad faces when she comes in and goes,
how are you?
Hi.
How you doing, honey? Is that, do you have something on your face?
So they decide to sit and talk. And in the talking head, he says, I hope we can get things resolved. And I feel like she doesn't care. I feel like she moved on so fast.
Yeah.
So he tells her, I'm sorry I was angry yesterday. And she says, it's okay. Like, I know it's hard. And he says, I still love you so much. And I don't know what to do with my emotions.
Yeah.
And that's an honest thing that he's saying.
That's an honest thing.
That's good. And she says, well, hopefully we can talk today just about us, me and you. And if we leave family out of it because we have such strong feelings, we can just talk about us.
Probably smart. Like they should have ground rules for these discussions. Yeah. And one of them is we don't talk about your family.
Right. And she says, because, we have these practical steps that we need to take and there's paperwork and there's signatures and we have an asset we need to settle. And he looks sadly at the floor and says, I can't accept this. And she just is like, what? And he says, in his talking head, he says, I was hoping after being apart, she would change her mind.
And again, he doesn't want her. He just wants what's easy. And that's to go back into the relationship. We've all been there when you're getting divorced. Like this goes through your mind where you're like, it's kind of easier to just slink back. But no.
Also, to her point that she made with me, he's changing the outside. He hasn't changed the inside.
No, he hasn't.
And he says he was hoping she would change her mind. He says he's just sort of realizing that now as he's talking to the producer. And he says, because after seeing her in person, he is changing his mind. And the producer says, had your mind already changed? You don't want to get divorced? And he said, no, it happened the minute he saw her. Oh my God.
Okay.
And then he says to her, can't we just make it work?
I know. It's just it's really sad.
It's really sad.
It's really sad.
She
if
just
you
looks at him
divorce
like,
yourselves of like knowing what they're talking about on social media and all of Ethan's beliefs and stuff like that, it's just really sad.
It's very, very sad. And listen, by the way, people may have opposite beliefs and they may think Olivia, really ruined this family. And people may think that. We personally don't think that. That's
hard disagree, but whatever.
This is what we're here to do is talk about the show and our opinions.
Yes.
Everybody can have their own opinion. I think that irregardless of all of that, sorry.
Era. I thought we were doing Kennedy stuff. Sorry.
No, we were doing John from 90 Day.
Okay. River.
Irregardless, hit for two. Irregardless of what you think of the whole situation, and God knows that Amy and I could each write a 6-day dissertation on this. This, when he said, can't we just make it work? And he changed his mind the minute he saw her.
It's sad.
Is very sad. Because he is working very hard to change his outside, but has done nothing to change his inside.
Yes. Yes.
And by the way, he shouldn't have to change his outside or his inside for anybody else. If this is who he is and this is what he needs to be, he can find somebody. He can create his soulmate and make that person compatible, just like Micah did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lydia's got lots of friends. So, all right. Next time on, really is going to be this season on. We see some fun family games. It appears like Barry, Isaac, Moriah, Micah, Amber, and maybe Lydia are doing a Spartan race.
I didn't see this trailer, so I'm paying close attention.
Okay. So we have all their faces together, and the camera's looking up like that.
Yeah.
And I had to pause it, which was scary because they're all wearing swim caps.
Yeah.
I had to pause it and like flip my phone around to see who was who, but it's Barry, Isaac, Moriah, Micah, Amber, and maybe Lydia. They're doing a Spartan race.
Okay.
We see Kim in a dunk tank.
Good.
Getting good. Getting dunked right in the water. Lipstick, mascara.
Can I buy
everywhere.
A baseball to throw at the target to dunk her?
What is the cause? Moriah says she rented a house in Tampa for a week and the entire family will be staying in one house.
Ew.
We see Kim, we see Barry, we see everybody. No Hosanna.
Okay.
Never gonna see her again, only on episode 1, season 1. Moriah says, okay, now I said that. Okay, Micah tells Barry, I get DMs all the time, man, trying to people want to be set up with you.
With Barry.
With Barry.
Okay, psychopaths. Who are you?
Who are you?
Yourselves. Come forward.
Well, that house is pretty sweet.
That's true.
That house is pretty nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been pretty low places in my life. I don't think I've ever been in that low place.
And he says, well, I've never experienced a DM. Sick. Is that what the kids say? Should I get I gotta Google how to get my Riz.
Stop it.
So we see Kim say, I didn't make that up. That's what was said. Kim say, yeah, we have a blended family. We see Ken there. And if nobody
we do see Ken.
Ken is there.
Okay.
Lydia is there. They're on a dock somewhere in Florida.
Okay.
And Kim says to Lydia, Ken can be a backup singer if no one shows. So apparently they're having a Plath family singers situation.
Oh,
Ken is there. By the way, Ken looks like he lost about 50 pounds and got way less bloated. Ken may be on a health journey.
Maybe.
Unclear.
Yeah. I'm going to reserve comment on Ken.
Lydia says, I never disliked Ken, but I'm not like, yay, Ken.
No.
Good.
You are us. We are you.
Good. Then we see Micah.
And if people are new to this, Ken's social media, he was a big old racist, guys. Like right out racist. Like not trying to conceal it, not trying to hide it, not to be interpreted.
No. And this is not a political thing. Like he supported this candidate or that. He was racist.
No, he was like making comments about people of color. Like he's a racist person.
Okay. That was on social media. This is not something we're alleging. It was, you can find it for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, it's all over Reddit.
Yeah. Then we see Micah talking to the camera and one of the various barn doors in their homes slides open. And she says, I can hear you. And he says, yeah, I know. And then she looks like she's going to come on the camera. In the background, we see a Louis Vuitton bag that I know cost about $4,600.
Okay. All right.
Listen, I got to tell you something. If she makes all that money and buys bags, good for you. I like to buy a handbag myself. But to have 6 Chanel bags.
That's why they have the cameras. That's why the house is camered up.
Right by a window, by the way, the Chanel bags were on a IKEA piece of furniture. That ain't right. Treat those bags with respect if they're real.
Is a mess.
Okay. We see Olivia and her sister, Lydia Jane. What's her name? Lydia Jane?
I think so.
It's Lydia something. It's double.
Lydia
double
Sue?
name.
Lydia.
No,
it's Lydia Jane. I think
it's Lydia Jane.
I'll look it up.
You guys, it's just like Mary Payne, but Lydia Jane. That's how we remember it. So we see Olivia and her sister, and Olivia says that there's a guy, and we see her kissing this guy, and yeah, there's potential. She said last night on the social media that, yeah, the guy's great. That's the guy.
Lydia Grace.
Lydia Grace. Okay, well, it still is like Mary Payne. It's still double name.
Yeah.
Lydia Grace. Olivia and Lydia Grace go to I got to write that down. I'm never going to get it right. Lydia Grace. Okay. Olivia and Lydia Grace go to a tarot card reader. And
the devil's handiwork.
The tarot card reader says, yeah, you're only meant to be married once. And she goes, just once? And she says, yeah, I think maybe you'll reunite. She's like, yeah.
I do believe there is, if Ethan grows, they could come back together.
But listen, Amy,
he won't.
He doesn't need to change his whole belief and mind system if it's not going to work. Just don't do that. Let him be himself. Let him do what he wants.
Well, I mean, he can be himself, but I think the final straw for her was I would disown my gay children. So I do think he needs to progress there, regardless of what happens with him.
I agree, but he's
irregardless, here for two.
Irregardless, here for two, they should not be married. Okay. We see Ethan writing her a love letter. It starts, Dearest Olivia.
Oh, God, he's trying to pull me in. Now he's going to be writing poetry.
I didn't say the poetry. Moriah says she went through severe heartbreak. And Micah says, I wish I would have met this guy and known about this. And Barry says, he had me believing he was a great guy. Kim says, we should do a Plathville Family Singers concert. Let's get the band back together. Olivia's sister, Lydia Grace, says Olivia is not seeing clearly this is a rash decision regarding this new guy.
Ooh.
Now, we see everybody running on the beach like they're in a panic, like they're trying to rescue somebody from the ocean. We don't know what that's about.
Maybe a shark is biting.
Could be. Then
and Barry's like, I'm just going to sit back here and see how this works out.
Whoa, there's a shark. Did you see that? Kids? Whoa, that's crazy, guys. Everybody run to the shore. Okay. Micah says to Barry, Dad, do you know what's going on with Moriah? I know it's her life, but I'm not okay with this. Okay. Olivia says, I loved Ethan. I don't know why the dogs are barking.
It's okay.
Olivia says, I loved Ethan as a spouse at one point. So all of that's not gone right away. Meaning of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Ethan says, I'm just trying to let her go. Then we see Lydia and Moriah attempting to sing and blah, 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 blah. My ears go blind. And Olivia says with Ethan, I don't know. Never say never.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, listen, the way they spliced this was, I think that was after the tarot card reader where she was like, I don't know, never say never.
Yes.
And the attempting to sing thing, I think, goes along with, they decide to get the band back together. And that's why we see Kim and Ken with Lydia on that pier, because that's where they're going to have their concert.
Okay.
If I had to guess, I would say that will be like the end of season thing that they're going to have a Plathville Family Singers trying to make that shit happen. If I had to guess. And that's the end, guys. And I got to tell you, this might be back on the free feed next week, Amy, because we've got so much that we're trying to squeeze in over on Prime. You guys, if you're not with us over on Prime, currently we're covering Happily Ever After and 90 Day UK, which there may be 2 more episodes or there may be 4.
Yeah, we don't know. Sure.
Unclear. So
but we're on the ride and we're going to ride it to the end.
We're going to write it. Oh God, which the ride ends in September. So everybody just bear with us. You will get Plathville. It might be right here next week, or it may be over on Prime. So now's a great time to go over subscribe to Prime. If you want Plathville specifically, it's on the $5 level. Other things on the $10 level, I just covered MILF Manor with Deanna Chang. Starting this next week, I'll be covering Forbidden Love with Kimberly from A Date with Dateline. Those are your programming notes. And my co-host here today has been my weekend co-host with this Amy Archer of Little Miss Recap. You guys, are you listening to Little Miss Recap?
People should be listening because we're covering Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup. And I can't tell you how good it is.
And we've gotten any understanding how she's able to say Life After Lockup when it's not a Lifetime nor a Match Shop program.
We don't care, though. We're so into it.
One day I'll interview Matt Sharp and I'll find out.
And let me tell you something. The Cajun accents are everywhere. Stepmom, instead of saying Ken, says Ken. It's something. I love it so much.
When you say Ken, like Ken, that's the person's name? Ken.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's wrong with that? That's not
It's
Cajun.
amazing. I love it. It's
Southern.
amazing. Yes. No, there's a Jovi vibe to it. I mean, it's great. And just seeing her kind of deal with the world, it's so good. It's so good. So we're covering that. We're covering House of the Dragon.
That's a Game of Thrones situation. Is it a spinoff or it's a reality show?
How dare you?
People say House of the Dragon, they act like it's like some sort of like Squid Game.
So it's like a reality show. It's like a prequel to Game of Thrones. So it's
so it's an HBO production
history. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's a fabulous HBO production that's amazing. Okay, gotcha.
And we're covering documentaries and we're covering, as always, Sister Wives.
I know. Never stop, can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Never.
They don't have a new season on. You just go right back to the beginning.
I think they're coming back the last week of September.
And why?
Because Forbidden Love is in their time slot. So if Forbidden Love is 8 episodes, it's going to be mid-September. If it's 10 episodes, which I think more likely it is, it'll be that last weekend in September, which is also my birthday weekend.
Okay. And
so happy birthday to me.
If we recall, Amy is a
Libra.
Birthday monther, a birthday weeker. She's not a say hi to me on my birthday.
I'm just a Libra season. Just Libra season.
Okay. So on my actual birthday, we're also to wish you a happy birthday.
Of course. Yes.
It's so funny because, Kimberly just had a birthday, and I did Kimberly of A Date with Dateline, who also co-hosts with me. You guys, she had a birthday, and she'll hear this, and I hear you listening, Kimberly.
Should I respond to her threat?
No, not publicly. Keep that on Prime.
Okay.
She had a birthday, and I did not post on her birthday. I just posted around her birthday.
That was a misstep. That was a misstep.
And she was no. She didn't want any birthday post.
What?
She wrote to tell me, number one, it's not even my birthday. And I said, I know, because I know you don't want people to know your birthday. So I just did it near your birthday. And then she reminded me, they don't even tell people their last names. I said, I didn't say your last name, and I didn't say your actual birthday. She thinks saying happy birthday to someone and saying when your birthday is akin to leaking Social Security and credit card information.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
okay. Wow.
Kimberly did have a birthday within the last 60 days.
Somebody who may or may not be named Kimberly, who may or may not host a show called Date with Dateline.
Yeah. So she did have a birthday. I was very happy to wish her a happy birthday. And then I got chastised for it. And then I said, I'll take it down. And she said, no, don't take it down. So I said, you are the opposite of Amy Archer, who not only wants people to know her birthday, but to start herefor 30 days before.
No. That sun goes into Libra September 23rd. That is when my birthday celebration begins.
Okay.
My actual birthday is September 25th. And then it continues through October.
October 23rd, which I believe is the cut over to the other one.
Yes.
What's next? Scorpio?
Scorpio.
Okay. Because I'm a cusp.
I'm a cusp for Virgo.
I'm a cusp for Scorpio. John Hill is an actual cusp because his birthday is the 23rd.
When is yours? October
21st.
21st.
Same as Keisha.
Right. And John Lennon's October 9th. We'll always remember.
My birthday is also the same as Kim Kardashian, as well as Carrie Fisher and Isaac Plath.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, John Lennon has to share his birthday with Robin Brown, and that is unfortunate.
Oh, eyebrows?
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. All right, guys. Follow Amy Archer at Little Miss Recap on Instagram, please. We're trying to get her Instagram numbers up.
Some bunkies did follow me, and I had a little boost. So thank you.
Good. Everybody, please follow at Little Miss Recap. And you guys, if you like Little Miss Recap, if you like this podcast, go and just click that 5 stars. That helps more than anything. If you don't want to join a Patreon or a Supercast or whatever, you click the 5 stars. That helps. And you know what? If you don't like a podcast, you don't have to click anything.
Nope.
You know what? Just listen to a different one.
Nope. Yep. Just
don't click anything. Don't leave a negative comment. If you love it, click 5 stars. That helps. If you don't love it, turn it off. Find something else. It's free content. It's good for everybody. You guys, thank you very, very much. And I will see everybody on Thursday with Amy Phillips talking about Bravo. So get ready for some good impressions there. Okay, bye, Amy.
Bye.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.